Welcome back to our Rimworld 40k Let's Play. I apologize for the gap in episodes. As I've noted in the comments on a few of the more recent videos, as well as actually in some of the videos, I've been traveling a lot for work, and that's made it quite difficult for me to keep up with recording, because it's not so much just a matter of being busy, but I'm frequently not home with a means to play games and or record. So hopefully with the craziness, what is happening right now? With the craziness out of the way, with the last two trips, I can get things back on schedule. But it might be a one episode a week type thing for a little while, just until I catch back up. We were doing 2 episodes a week, and I'd love to get back to that, but it might take a little bit of time. Anywho, let's dive on into things. It's been forever since I've jumped into Rimworld, so I only have a vague recollection of where we left off. One thing I do know is that Trokipla is dead. So what happened, and the reason I haven't scrapped her body yet for parts, is because I wanted to show you guys the log. So what happened was she went berserk, as you can see by this event pinging here, and she did so in the quarry. Unfortunately for her, Avitus also frequently works in the quarry, and the moment she went berserk, he fired off a heavy bolter round that hit her square in the face. Or I guess the neck, apparently. So he hit her right in the neck, and I'm sure you can all imagine what a bolter round will do to a human neck. But her body no longer has a head attached. So we've been having some problems with her. I went back and forth on what the best role for her would be, and she basically made that decision for us. She is now going to be a gene seed component donor. So at least she'll be contributing to the chapter. So beyond that, we do have another active quest for a reunion. This is for Antaeus. He is a librarian, so this will be our first psyker if we can bring him on back. We have just under 8 days to retrieve him. We are looking at roughly a 2.5 day journey. Our Marines can probably make that journey in about a day, but we probably should also not leave too much to chance, so we'll give ourselves more breathing room than that. There are 11 capybaras guarding him, I guess I should say. And that is not necessarily an overwhelming threat, but still a lot of enemies to deal with at once. I think in this instance it might be wise to send melee specialists, because with that many enemies, it's going to be very difficult to deal with all of them before they close to melee range. So it might be better to just embrace it and throw like Thule and Nicholas in there, who have shields and specialize in melee combat, so they can just meet the enemy on their own terms and wipe them out. Though I probably won't send both of them. I like to have at least one of them in the base at all times. So it will probably be one or the other, plus maybe Endymion, who's a melee specialist. And I believe we have Gordian, who's a melee specialist too. So it could be those two plus maybe Ariston and his shotgun potentially. But we'll give it a little bit of time. I'm going to remove these notifications now that you guys have been made aware of that. And one last thing. So Aramis is now fully... Oh, excuse me. I ruined the big reveal. Phocis is now, as far as we're concerned, a full-fledged initiate. He has everything, I believe, but the black carapace in terms of gene seed components. I'm not going to scroll through that, sorry. But as you can see, we've equipped him with some scout armor. He also has a chainsword and a bolt pistol. So actually, yeah, he's a bit of a melee specialist too, isn't he? And with his ascension to an initiate, not quite a full brother yet, but the becomings of one. We've given him his new name, and that's going to be Aramis. So when I asked for names back in like episode 1, one of the first comments I got was, what about Aramis, the canonical name of the player character in Dawn of War 2? And so my intention was always to have him play a part in this, but he's obviously not a character in the original Dawn of War, so I wanted him to be a character that sort of came up as we sort of organically built our chapter. And so since this guy is the first initiate that we have, and he kind of fits the bill with the social skill and the melee skill, we'll go ahead and make him Aramis. Right, so let's see. Beyond that, we'll get things rolling. It's been pretty quiet at the base. I did play a bit between episodes. Actually, I think it was like about 2 days worth. I think we ended on the 9th in the last episode. And so, oh, no. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was like, please do not bury that body. We need human meat. So, about 2 days worth of construction and whatnot. But nothing significant. Obviously, we have a nice growing zone over here now. So, we're producing corn just because that requires less labor to generate roughly a similar amount of food as what rice would produce from the same space. We're also growing cotton and heel root. So I don't know if that was all set up at the end of last episode. Again, it's been... Oh, hello, Masterwork. Masterwork chandelier in the librarium, no less. So this is probably where the most significant expansion has happened, over in the librarium, or what will be the librarium. So, again, this is going to be the main area right here, as you may have guessed by the size. There's a hallway that leads on back to where the librarians will sleep and have their quarters. I have 3 prepared. There are 2 psychers set up in Reunion, so we'll be meeting at least one more canonical Dawn of War character. I don't know if I said this, by the way, but Antaeus is not named in Dawn of War Dark Crusade, but that is the name of the generic librarian who is present for the Dark Crusade. So he looks just like the librarian from Dawn of War 1, no subtitle, but he's technically a different guy because that was Isidore, who became a heretic and was obviously killed. So they reused the asset, but it's a different guy, I promise. And that's his canonical name. Right here is going to be, I think, what was my intention initially? Some sort of like Rimwriter crafting area. Basically something to put the librarians to work doing in this space here. And then this is going to be mostly just shelves and places for people to sit and hang out and do whatever when they're not training. So, yeah. Oh, great. We have another gene seed part there. So how far along are we with the second set? We're pretty close. Looks like Gordian is cranking out the melanochrome right now. So that just leaves 4 more organs, and Demetrios will be, or he'll have everything he needs in order to become another initiate for us. Again, he's going to be probably an apprentice apothecary to Gordian, so he can start helping out with this type of stuff. But he's going to go through the scout ranks first, just like everybody else. He only has 5 installed, though. We were actually working on installing the 6th, and it went a little bit sideways, which is why he has some random injuries. I'll probably let those heal before we try to install anything else. I do really have to babysit those because they're very prone to attempting surgeries while people are lying on the floor. And that never goes well. also occurs to me that I may not have introduced some of these characters down here. We had been going back and forth trading with slavers through the orbital trade beacon, and I was trying to optimize the pawns that we had lined up for our Space Marine initiates. And now is one of those slaves that we traded for. I don't know if that happened on camera or if it happened between episodes, so in case I didn't introduce now. Obviously, pretty competent fighter. Also psychically hypersensitive. Actually, you know what? I think now was introduced because I feel like I asked you guys whether or not we should consider him a psyker based on this trait. And now I'm recalling reading some of your comments that were sort of in favor of that. It's all slowly coming back to me. So, yeah, maybe now will eventually become a psyker. For now, no pun intended, we're just going to put him through the same sort of initiate process as everybody else. But once he is ready to become a full-fledged Space Marine, it will be as a librarian, not as just like a tactical Marine or whatever. Though he actually would be very well suited to a lot of different roles. Oh, thank you, Aramis, for taking care of that. Look at him. He's already being a good Force Commander. He's not the Force Commander in this case, obviously, but yeah. Well, given that there's not a whole hell of a lot going on, I think we should start acting on this quest. There's actually quite a few people that are just chilling. So let's jump out to the world map, and we're going to form a caravan. We're going to send them over here. And I'm thinking, Thule, where's your power sword? Hold on a moment. It looks like it is on his person. Yeah, it's just not equipped properly. Alright, Thule. Drop that power sword on the ground. Equip the power sword. And then equip the pistol as... Or sorry, not as a sidearm, in offhand, so you can dual wield it. Perfect. Okay, now he's properly equipped. Everybody else is fine, right? It looks that way. Okay. So it was just him for some reason. Form the caravan. Again, we're sending him there. We're going to go with Thule. We're going to go with... I think I'll leave Nicholas in charge. We'll send Endymion. We'll send Aramis on his first mission. And since he is a recruit, he should go with a sergeant. And I'm going to make Ariston the sergeant of the close combat scouts. So anybody who is a scout sniper will work under Cyrus, and anybody who is not a scout sniper basically will work under Ariston. So that's going to be people that are more melee prone or just more close combat oriented in general. Obviously, if they're more skilled at range, we'll give them a sniper rifle for the time being, and then maybe make them into a tactical marine or whatnot. In terms of food, let's not burn those. We'll do 5 medicine and does eggs count for anything? Not really. How many of these do we need? Oh, that's not going to get us anywhere because they're not allowed to eat it. I wish I had some berries or something. Well, I'll send them with some squig meat. Let's see, is 100 squig meat enough? How about 50? Okay, we'll send him with 50 squig meat. And... Actually, Endymion, you're going to stay. I'm going to send Gordian instead. We're going to have to do some field treatments potentially. So I want to have the apothecary present. Okay. Let's lock that in, and off they go. So the game estimates it'll take about 0.6 days to arrive at our destination. Obviously, it's going to be a lot much, that's not how words work. It's going to be much slower going back with a wounded Antaeus, but I'm not too concerned about that. We should have more than enough food. Space Marines don't need to eat a whole lot. Demetrius is also fully healed, so if Gordian were here, we'd install another Gene Seed component, but he's obviously not, so we're going to hold off. I don't necessarily want Heracus or anybody else doing that. That's going to be a strictly Gordian role, so we'll just have to leave it be for now. I was also asked in the comments if or why I don't expand the front of the base out to here to kind of incorporate these things. So I am and I'm not going to. The idea is the Fortress Monastery is going to be here, and it's going to be built into the mountain, and that's not going to change. But what I will have are sort of forward defenses that incorporate sort of all of, well, I probably won't go beyond maybe this one. So not too much further out than where our current makeshift defenses are. But there'll be heavy fortifications. So there will be walls. There will be like bunker type things. But it will be largely open air. It won't be part of the main base. And there might be other structures there too. Potentially shield generators, artillery, things of that nature. But the base, the Fortress Monastery, is going to remain here. And again, we will shave some of the mountain off so that we have a little bit of a bastion to fire from should our outer defenses be penetrated. But we will really emphasize those outer defenses. This is very much temporary. So we've arrived, and Antaeus is downed in the middle of the map here, surrounded by those capybaras. It looks like he is quite beat up, but nothing nothing too bad, just bruises and cracks. So he'll obviously survive. He's in extreme pain though, and he's not going to be getting up anytime soon. His weapons are strewn about the ground, but he is at least fully armored. So these capybaras will need to be dealt with before anything else. Let's go ahead and remove that. And let's see. I'm going to have Ariston set up there. And the others will just go ahead and form a firing line, I think. Something like that. We'll keep Aramis back just a little bit. I prefer Thule and Gordian engage first. Those bolt pistols are going to do a whole lot of damage. And it looks like my concerns about being engaged in melee were misplaced. Already rotting. What's up with that? Should we deal with this guy too? I mean, he's not hurting anybody, so I guess we'll just leave him. Let's try to be quick about this. So, Gordian, run on over there and offer to help. And what we might do is just treat on the run, because, again, it's going to be a while before he can get up, so it might be smarter to just start moving. So he's going to join. And I think I'd like to take some of these capybaras back with us. At least the ones that didn't rot immediately. Is that because they had Scaria, right? Oh, but they all had Scaria. Well, I'm glad we didn't end up in melee combat with them. But I don't think it's safe to eat them. So I guess we'll just be leaving then. A little bit anticlimactic, honestly. But what are you going to do? Alright. So we will reform the caravan and we will send them on back. It says 5 days. Hopefully we can do better than that. But you never know for sure. So we do want to take those weapons, of course. Other than that, though, I think everything looks good. We actually didn't touch the squig meat. We're net positive on food because they were able to scavenge some berries. Awesome. And oh, it is going to be about 5 days. It should progressively speed up. They should progressively speed up as Antaeus heals a bit. But we might be looking at actually taking most, if not all of that time to actually get back. Okay, so the area up here is coming along quite nicely. Now that the walls are in and they're doing the conduits and whatnot, I'm going to go ahead and place the beds too. So we'll just do 3 like so. And I'm a little bit, what's the word? Apprehensive about placing the stone floors, because pretty much every time I've had like a major bug in this playthrough, it's actually been them trying to build floors. I don't know if there's any one mod that's necessarily causing it. Like I don't think it's the mod that adds this floor that's the issue. Let's see, excellent, good, and good. Okay, cool. So pretty good quality overall. So I don't think it's the floor mod. It might be one of the mods that increases working efficiency, such as the ones that basically allow people to deliver resources who aren't actually the ones building it. Because what happens, and I think I've gone over this before, but when I queue up a bunch of floors, the resources will get delivered, but the game won't recognize that they've been delivered, or they'll try to start building the tile before the resources have been delivered. And what happens is it breaks the AI of the pawn who's trying to do the work. And they'll freeze in place. I won't be able to interact with them in any way. And the ticks per second will basically plummet down to 0 or 1, single digits effectively. And yeah, so that's largely been the biggest problem we've had in this playthrough in terms of stability. And I'm really not sure how to overcome it. So it's made me very apprehensive about throwing floor tiles down. But we need to do it, especially since everybody's kind of just standing around. Oh, the black carapace is done. So I think everything that Demetrios needs is now finished. Sandstone, right? Let's try small sections. Maybe that's the key. So I'll queue up a few. We'll make sure the game doesn't crash. And I'll queue up a few more. It's really nice to be able to just lay down the whole room and let them kind of work on it at their leisure, but unfortunately I don't need another bug. Right, that was pretty quick actually. So let's do the next section. I'll go all the way to the wall here. And X001 is cranking through these sandstone walls. So that's the power of the drill arm right there. And of course not having a limbic lobe, but the drill arm I'm sure is the main factor there. We can actually throw in another chandelier over here as well, just to get this area better lit. And it looks like that's wrapping up. Unfortunately, I can't copy the blueprint now. So, do I risk it? Let's do the whole corner here. I feel a little bit more confident after 2 successes there. And we have good quality, and the masterwork in the middle. Let's see. Camisa having a tantrum. No! Ah! I don't have anybody nearby. No! Who can save them? Endymion, you must stop her. No, no, no. You have to do this. Oh my god, thank you. All 8 of our advanced components almost just went up in smoke. One more hit and they would have been destroyed. Ah, Camisa, you would have been gene seed fodder if that happened. So, I think you're good to just let her go. Oh. Wait, where's your... I'm on the wrong person. I was like, where is your prisoner tab? Just release her. Like, immediately. Okay. And grab your stun baton. Perfect. So, that should snap you out of it, right? Bio, social needs. Yeah, catharsis. So, you are rebounding. Great. We're buffed by MacLeod. Have you been hitting on the chaplain? She is frustrated. Somebody reminded me in the comments as well. The part of the reason I got that what's it called? The nose thing. There was a nose. Brain having trouble recalling things. Aesthetic nose, yeah. Part of the reason I accepted that as the quest reward is I figured one of our transhumanists would benefit from it. So we'll give it to her. That should help her mood. So I'm actually going to tell her to rest until healed. That way I know for a fact she's in the bed here. And Heracus should be fine installing this. He does have a medical skill of 10. And this will be good practice for him. I don't want him doing the gene seed ones for partly lore reasons, but additionally because with those, I think there's a greater chance of failure. And Gordian's medical skill is in the mid-teens, I believe. It's like 15 or 16. So he's a lot less likely to fail, unless, of course, he decides to operate on somebody lying on the floor. In which case, you know, all bets are off. Alright, so Heracus has apparently pretty good bedside manner because he decided to feed her first. For whatever reason, though, he didn't carry out the surgery. He went and put the thing back, so I'm going to try again. Let's see. Whoa. No. That was almost very bad. Maybe you were telling me something. Okay, let's try this again. So he's going to get the good quality medicine. I'm going to go grab the nose. Grab the nose. And then he's going to install the nose, hopefully. And not, you know, cut her head off or gouge an eye out or anything ridiculous. But we shall see. I've definitely had crazier happen. Cool. So, just a regular old nose here. And she now has an aesthetic nose. It's just going to show up in the health tab. So, beauty +1. Efficiency is unchanged. That's about it, I guess. That should please her. Yeah, so she's up to 4. And we'll obviously give them quite a few artificial body parts over time, but at least that's a start. Looks like the caravan is making good time. They're about 0.2 days out. So things are definitely speeding along. I wager that's largely because Antaeus is back on his feet. And when they return, we'll take a look at the Psyker tab, because that's something we haven't explored at all yet in this playthrough. And the corruption mod is actually pretty cool, pretty in-depth with how they've handled Psykers. And the caravan is back. So let's see, Antaeus, we're going to move you further over because you're part of the command squad. I think librarians will go after chaplains, but before apothecaries. Based on, well, at least in the last version of the tabletop I played, obviously captains could be your, I forget what they call it. They could be like the leader of your little tabletop army. chaplains and librarians were also fit for that role, but apothecaries are not. Apothecaries could be part of the command squad, but were not commanders in and of themselves. So, let's see. Antaeus, we're going to look at... Where is it? Soul? Psyker level Epsilon. Badge, blah, 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 social, bio. Yeah, so he is a Psyker. He's in quite a lot of pain. I am going to assign this excellent bed to him. He can go rest in it. But yeah, there should be a tab for for psychery stuff. I'm not seeing it, and I wonder if I was having conflicts before with Pawn Badge, and Oglis helped me out by writing a patch for them, and I have that patch installed, but I'm still not seeing the Psyker tab. So I will play around with that. Oh, is it here? Yeah, I'm just an idiot. Okay. So it's right here. Oglis's patch worked. I never should have doubted him. Right, so the different tiers are Kappa, Iota, Zeta, Epsilon, Delta, and Beta. So, as you... Do I have them backwards? Is this the lower? My lore on Psychers is not great. I mean, to be honest, I haven't been following 40k lore closely for a while now. It's been years because a lot of what's come out is just not to my interest. But anyway, these are the different tiers, and as you go up the tiers, obviously you get more advanced skills, but there's generally, I think, less of them. This implies that beta is the lowest, which I suppose makes sense. And I think alpha is like a regular person. I could be wrong. So maybe Kappa is the highest currently. But that doesn't make sense because he's an epsilon level. So he's here. And we're able to choose these. So it must be going that way. Anywho, I'll figure this out at some point. I'll have to brush up on the Psyker lore again. But we can also choose a discipline. It's not going to let me do it. Or, wait, no, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Ugh. God. Okay. Let's start over here. So, we have disciplines. We can choose a discipline from either pyromancy, telekinesis, telepathy, biomancy, or divination. You can also just not have a discipline, and that'll give you access to these more general skills. You can have multiple disciplines, but it requires a lot of XP. So this button right here will unlock a minor discipline for 1,000 XP points. And I believe the minor discipline may have slightly more limited choice in abilities, but it's obviously better than just being locked into a single focus. Now, additionally, we can increase our Psyker level, so if we want to go from Epsilon to whatever the hell is next, we can do that, but as you can see from the tooltip, it's actually very expensive. It's 9,000 experience. And then we can, of course, select a power here. So we can call creatures, we can smite, we can dull pain, we can flashbang people, inflict pain, we can unnatural beauty, whatever that means. I imagine it just really increases our beauty, which should help with social interaction. And then unnatural aim, I think that is pretty self-explanatory. So we're not going to choose anything yet because we may want to go with a discipline first. And I'm gonna have to refresh my memory on what the different options are. I might save, choose one, look at the powers that come with that one, and then revert my save so I can check them all, and then choose the one I feel is best suited to him. Now, again, we're gonna have potentially another 1 or 2 psychers, so we don't need one guy that can do everything. We're gonna be able to kind of spread these skills around, but we still want, you know, well-rounded, powerful psychers in their own right. So let's be smart about that. So those are both complete. Actually, is there any other stuff? Friends needing help. Ministin rescued. We're actively doing that. That's what these jerks are. Why they're here. So, how long do we have to... Shuttle arrives in 13 days. Oh my god. Well, at least it's been a week since they arrived. Roughly. 8 days. Yeah, that's 13 days. I want them gone so badly. At least they kind of just stay in their own little area. So now that Gordian's back, I would like for Demetrios. I appreciate you cleaning trash. But yeah, let's go ahead and install the next gene seed component. So we have 5. We need 6, 7. I don't see them. Maybe I know that there was a failed surgery and that's why he was injured. Did they fail twice? Did they destroy 2 components? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, it's not here. God. No. Do we still have human meat? Here, I'm gonna keep things running in the meantime. Marlock meat. The human meat should look ever so slightly different. There it is. There's 9 of it. That's not gonna be enough. Damn it. Alright, well that obviously is gonna slow us down a little bit. So which ones are 6 and 7? I mean, these should be in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Catalepsian node and the Preomnor. Preomnor makes sense because he did have a stomach injury, so I think there was a failure trying to install that. Yeah, so he doesn't have either of those. He does have his bionic foot, though. Let me make sure it's not just a limit of that menu. Nope, not there. Okay, well, we'll make 2 more of those, but it's going to be a while before we have the material to do it. Unless one of our prisoners is kind enough to donate some material, but we got rid of most of them. So unless it's black, or I don't know if we can get away with, I think we'll get in a lot of trouble if we use one of the Ministins as a donor. Alright, so next up on the build queue is going to be adding these end tables to each bedroom so that they A, have a bit of light, and B, just have some furniture to make the comfort increase. As well as the overall room quality, etc., etc. So, working on those. You know what? Since now is going to be a psyker, I might just go ahead and assign his bed here. And we'll leave that one for the other reunion psyker. Is still to be announced. And then we'll go ahead and floor this room off, and we'll start mining out what will be the reliquary, right? So as we were excavating the reliquary, we found 2 relics left from when this was the original Fortress Monastery. So it looks like we have a sword and a pistol. The sword is called the Alexian Blade. Excellent quality. And let's see. I think it's a little bit stronger than a regular power sword. Does it have a DPS? No. Oh, it does right here, 22. So how does that compare to like your sword, for example? 14. So that's quite a bit more powerful. We'll probably give that to Thule, and his power sword can get passed down, maybe to Endymion or somebody. And then the pistol of ball is, I think that's a higher DPS. Oh, that's melee. Where is it? Damage 30. Range cooldown, range. Yeah, I don't know how much more damage this does relative to a regular bolt pistol, but the shells should be, I think they're like Hellfire rounds. So I think they'll do more explodey damage, or maybe they'll set people on fire, something of that nature. I think Thule, being the force commander and our captain, should probably get both relics for the time being. And again, his stuff can get distributed to others. So Thule, why don't you come equip this? And also equip the pistol of ball. And maybe we'll go test fire it. For now, I'm going to forbid these. I don't want anybody wandering in here and picking them up. And, you know, accidentally disassembling them or something. So if he comes down here and practices shooting, we should get a look at what this thing can do. Actually, maybe it's not such a good idea. Yeah, it won't let him fire it because it's too dangerous. So we'll do our own little test firing then. Let's bring him on over here. And then we will go ahead and click on that and fire at this. Yeah, that looks pretty nasty. It was hard to tell what happened, but I think it was trying to set the wall on fire. So that's a pretty potent combination that he's got there. It looks like I'm going to need to tweak the positioning a bit, though. And then the Alexian Blade is just a more badass power sword. Nothing special, it's just better. Okay, awesome. So Thule's got some relics now. We'll make use of those. I don't see any reason not to. Obviously, we want some relics for the reliquary, but we also, you know, want to put the best weapons we have in the field. Okay, so this place needs some cleaning for certain. I think a chandelier. Maybe there and there. Yeah, so chandelier on either side. We'll also want to fill in the areas of the wall that were limestone, such as there. And then the rest of this we can come through and smooth out, like so. And then we'll queue up some floors. Let's do this half, just to be safe. And got to do my steel grading transitions. Okay. So with the reliquary near finished, or at least the sort of the bulk of it finished, we'll probably shift focus down to what will be the mess hall over here. So again, my thought was we'll have sort of a mess hall with a freezer connected, like a larger freezer than this, and maybe one or two nutrient paste dispensers sticking through the wall from the freezer into the mess hall, because we're probably not going to have anybody dedicated to cooking. I feel like there's not really any need for that. In the lore, most Space Marine chapters are eating what's called amino porridge, which is basically like protein oatmeal. Not exactly, but that should give you a rough idea of like what it is. And so that's what they're eating most of the time. Obviously, there are some chapters that will deviate from that. Maybe they just eat human blood exclusively, or they like to feast, like the Space Wolves. But in general, you know, Blood Ravens are largely a Codex chapter with some exception. So we're going to pretend like our nutrient paste is amino porridge, and god damn it, the floors just failed me. What is happening? Who did it? I think it's this one. No, that one's going down. This one's also going down. Let's see. Maybe we'll survive this. Nope. See? It just went to 0, 0. Floors got me again. Well, I'm at about an hour and 20 minutes on the recording, so this is about where I would usually stop anyway. Unfortunately, the only real way around this is to go back in time and pick up from my last save. Fortunately, I have gotten accustomed to saving a little bit more frequently, even throughout my recordings. So I think I only have to go back about 20 or 30 so minutes of gameplay. Still very frustrating. I don't know what causes this, but as you saw there, we witnessed it live. That is exactly what's been doing this game engine crash, basically. So ticks per second is 0. If I run this, we're at, you know, very low numbers, but this is not going to recover. It's completely broken. I can click cancel all day long. It's not going to do anything. I can tell you to go do something else. It's not going to fix it. And let's see. If I go into dev mode, I can go here. Maybe try to destroy it. Hey, wait. It disappeared. Oh, wait. No, it didn't. Yeah, so I can't destroy it. I can't interact with this at all. If I go to God mode, maybe, and just try to place a different floor, it's not going to let me. So it even thinks that there's jade tiles there now, but there's obviously not. So, yeah. Really nothing to be done about it. Well, luckily we've basically just been doing very low level building tasks. So that's nothing really too hard for me to replicate, but still is, you know, a waste of 30-40 minutes. Well, on that note, let's leave it there. So between episodes, I'll try to get back to where we are now, and then obviously a little bit beyond that. I'll probably start mining some of this out. If you have any thoughts on the layout of the mess hall, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm not bulk recording right now, so I should be able to incorporate your feedback a little bit more readily. Obviously, for the trips that I was going on, I had to record well in advance. And so, unfortunately, what that means is if you guys are commenting on videos, chances are I've already recorded the next 2 or 3 after that. And so, even if you give me really good feedback, I can't use it until you guys sort of catch up, if that makes sense. Anywho, with that, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time playing some Rimworld with you up to a point, and then things got a little bit sad. But I still look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next one, and I'll see you then.